We're live.
So
Ed, we're live everywhere.
now,
We're live in
we're
React.
finally doing
We're live in Trek. We're live on both of our
Yes.
personal threads, both of our personal. We are live everywhere, Ed. Everywhere.
the world. If you didn't think you could get enough of Glenn Twiddle, you can right now.
And I tell you, there's all of 10 people listening in, I'm sure.
Oh, really? It probably is. The replays they're going to hit.
There was probably a couple of hundred that were on, and they saw us screwing around. And
they said, screw this.
Yeah. So, all right, you're the host here, Ed. I'm going to shut up. Host away.
Am I the host?
You're the host.
Am I the host? Okay. Well, let's see. Today, I asked Glenn to help out and do a live stream. He goes, let's do something on what was it that happened in your life? How to be awesome. And I went, Glenn, no one can be as awesome as you.
How to be
so
awesome.
We need to tone this down a bit. so we toned it down a bit, and now he's saying, how can you make dreams come true? Because Glenn had some dreams come true a few days ago. Or was it? Yeah, it was this week, wasn't it?
Damn,
so
man.
We're going to help people make their dreams come true. Let's share what happened to you, what happened to us, whatever.
Yeah, and more importantly, because I don't want this to turn into a Glenn brag session, because despite the fact that inevitably it's going to be, because screw it, 3 days ago I got to work out with bloody Arnold Schwarzenegger at Gold's Gym. There's going to be a bit of bragging, right? But I also want to give you guys the steps and the thinking and the tools that it took that allowed that to happen. That didn't just happen. Right, there's millions of people our age, Ed, that would have loved to do that, or that would have loved, in your case, you're a big Michael Jordan fan. How many people would love to freaking go one-on-one and have to shoot some hoops with Jordan, or play golf with Tiger, or whatever? Well, those things aren't going to happen just waiting around at Ipswich or down on the Gold Coast. But there are certain things you can do to make that stuff happen, and I did it. So, that's a lot of people said that.
Your idol.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of people told me, man. They said, I don't know, Glenn, if you realize how big this is. And so, of course, I freaking realize how big this is. But he said, that's like sparring with Ali. That's like shooting hoops with Jordan. And I kind of agree. If you're our vintage, that's exactly what that's like, So I'm loving that we're going to share some of the, I suppose, the thinking and the specific actions that you can take if you're watching.
Yeah.
For any of the crew are watching this, don't think this is beyond any one of you. Because there's nothing special about me. Ed will be the first to frickin' tell you. There's nothing special about me.
No.
You can do it too.
Well, I'm not saying no about you. I'm just saying, everyone's great. Everyone's got their own personality in battles and stuff, don't they? So I guess even Arnold Schwarzenegger wouldn't think that he's special either. But
you know what? It's funny. There's an interview that I did while I was there at Gold's. I got his thinking on that. And I did say to him, because he was congratulating me on having lost some kilos, right? And he was saying he's proud of me, and I nearly got a bloody tear in my eye. I'm serious. And I just said, mate, I'm still a work in progress. And he said, yeah, but that we all are. None of us. The minute we think we've got it all together is the minute we're done, And I'm like, man, so he's still hungry as anything to improve and get better.
Yeah. So there's a lesson in that, isn't there?
Definitely.
All right, some tips then. So what are we going to share? How can people make their dream come true, whatever it is, whether it's a business?
Well, let's start off with showing them that... we'll start off with the brag session. So here's the first rule.
All right.
You got to be okay with legends kissing your missus. There you go. There's the first thing, right? So I don't know if you can see the screen there, but I'm sure you can. So there's Arnold making out with Naomi. Now, not making out, but anyway. So there's another rule. Have fun. Because as you can see, have a look at that bloody big cheesy grin. I'm having the time of my life right there.
Why wouldn't you be?
And there's him going hard and go on, you got to do it. And then that there is Ronnie Coleman, who was probably the next dude after Arnold. We were sitting there chatting with him before we sort of went in. Then we went backstage and we kind of filmed. We filmed some interview. Here's the footage. I don't know if the video footage is going to come through, but that's us just chatting. Man, who does that? I'm still sitting there going, so I'm going to get that interview footage up soon, but dream come true. And then after that, by the way, because we took Vivian Yap, who Vivian Yap came with us. And
she took some time off her schedule because she runs a tight ship.
Man, and here's a lesson for everyone. Vivian Yap, when I asked her to come and speak at the Total Success Conference coming to Sydney next week, she said that she'd seen what I've been doing or whatever, and she said, I'll come if you introduce me to Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I said, done, right? That was the only thing she wanted. She wanted to meet him at the event. So when Naomi and I got the call that we were going to go over to LA to do this interview, I called Vivian, and it was on, I think, the Friday, and we left on the Monday. So this is like 48 hours notice. I said, Vivian, I know it's a long shot. I know you are the busiest human being in the world, but the energy with which you asked to meet Arnold when we first talked about you speaking at the conference, is there any chance that you want to come with me and Naomi to Arnold's? Now, admittedly, all they've promised us is a half-hour interview where most of that half hour, I'll be sitting there interviewing Arnold. You'll probably get a chance to say g'day, have a high five, get a photo with him, say hi, and that's probably it, right? So she would have been going over for even less time with him than me, right? She said, I need to make one phone call. She did. She phoned me back. I'm there. And I think, wow, look at the ability to make a decision quickly, know what she wants, come along, and then maximize that opportunity. Because what happened was after the workout, after the interview, which we did backstage, in the back room there at Gold's, Arnold said, and you guys got to come to breakfast, So we went to breakfast, me, Vivian, and Naomi, Arnold, two of his mates, and his daughter. So there was only half a dozen of us, and three of that half a dozen was me and Naomi and Vivian. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Catherine Schwarzenegger, another movie star called Ralph Moella, who's been in a bunch of action movies, and Arnold's stunt double Dieter. That was it. And so we sat around drinking breakfast, eating breakfast and stuff, cool as. And what's funny, man, we were sitting there at the table. I'm here, Naomi's here, Arnold's there. And over Vivian's right shoulder, as I'm looking here, and I look this way, and there's my hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I look the other way. At the next table within arm's reach is Michael Keaton, right? And so Vivian, what a woman, jumps up, goes and sits with Michael Keaton, shakes his hand, says how much of a fan she is, and gets to say, I mean, it's another world out there, Ed. It is another world.
Wow, man.
So
wow, and that goes along with one of my rules.
What's the rule?
Which I think we covered the other time. Oh,
I can't see it there. I can't see it there. Oh, the say yes thing. Yeah.
The say yes thing. Like for 1 week, just say yes to stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine if she said no. If she said no, I haven't got time. She said yes and opened up a whole different experience, didn't it? And she went to breakfast and then she met Michael Keaton.
It's pretty cool.
Yes. Saying yes.
Yep.
So we'll use this later for everyone. You have to say yes this week for anything that we're about to ask you.
Wow. Remember that movie, Ed? Have you seen that movie? I think it's called Yes Man. And I think it's Jim Carrey. It was a while back.
Yes.
It's on that. And it's Terrence Stamp is like a guru. And now I may be getting a bit of this wrong, but Terrence Stamp is like a self-help guru, and his whole principle is just say yes to everything. And they go, yes, and they have to say yes to everything. And so you got to check that one out. I think it's called, I don't know what it means. You can say in the comments if you guys know what it's called, but it might even be called Yes Man. But I
think it's called Yes Man.
Terrence Stamp and Jim Carrey.
Sure.
Yeah,
because he can't cover his mouth.
He covers his mouth because he can't say, well, no, that's liar. That's liar. That's the one where Jim Carrey can't tell a lie. And he's going, but I think it might not even be Jim Carrey, So someone in the comments section can tell us. Let's see what that is. Let's see if...
Can someone tell us what movie it is?
Can someone tell us what movie it is where Terrence Stamp and... actually, you know what? I can just Google it. But someone can tell us anyway. I'll just Google it.
Let's see. What's the prize for someone if they beat you?
How are we going to know, though? How are we going to know? Now, I am getting old. I'm going to pull out my first set of glasses. Look, Alex Perry glasses. I have to get them because I can't read a thing with that.
Looking good. Looking good.
Terrence Stamp, let's go to his Superman. He was, of course, in Superman, the limey Star Wars. Yeah, it is called Yes Man.
Ah, there you go.
And it is Jim Carrey. 2008. So there you go.
Right.
Interesting. So there you go. Ed's principle.
Us old folk, we know our movies. But yeah, I'm not saying yes to everything because Britt used that to buy vacuum cleaner and your dishwasher.
Well, I asked you the other day, I said, so Edgar, are you going to make it down and come down to the Total Success Summit? Because when I first asked you, you couldn't take time away. But now that you're in yes man mode, Ed, are you coming down to the Total Success Summit? You got to say
I was thinking about that this morning, and you know what? I thought going on my own theory, even though I go down on Monday, fly back Monday night, it has to be done because I said yes this week. So I'm like, shit, I'm going to.
So you're coming. Are you coming?
I'm going to try for sure because there's going to be a yes, right? So I don't know what day, but I'll come down for a day.
Well done. Come down first thing, fly in first thing, because the Monday is the real estate day where Vivian Yap, Alex Phillips, John McGrath, it's going to be the real estate loaded day. Arnold, though, is the Tuesday. So if you do go home Monday night and don't stay, you're going to miss the Terminator, man.
Oh, man. Is he on Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah. Monday's real estate day. Tuesday is Arnold day.
Fly back.
Yep. Tuesday is Arnold day. Cool.
Wow.
Cool, man. Well, tell me about some of the other rules there. I'll go ahead.
Well,
sorry, man.
Britt's going down. Oh, sorry. I was going to say Britt's going down on the Monday because she's having breakfast with Adriano Zumbo. So they know them now. So that's just by saying yes to stuff. I said, Britt, just say yes and go. That's where she's going. Man. So she's going to come back with a whole big dessert.
Why work as hard as we do and then say no to experiences when they're presented to us? That's kind of what I say.
Exactly.
And because a lot of these big events, I mean, people often ask me, you look like you're blown out. How do you get away? How do you do all this? And I tell you, when profit's not your motive, because you and I both know it, every event I call you up panicking that I haven't made a dime and, that it turned out to be a lost leader or whatever the case may be. That's how. Yeah. See, I'm hard to compete with because I'll go on no profit just because I freaking love the experience. You know what I mean? Anyone else who wants to do this job for business and you're up against me, you've automatically got a disadvantage because I'll do shit that you won't do. You know what I mean? Now take that principle to your real estate career. What if you were that focused on going all in on your real estate career that you couldn't be competed with by a competitor? Because every time you get a check for 10 grand, instead of buying a freaking new BMW, you do another marketing campaign that costs you 10 grand. And then that 10 grand makes you 3 listings that pays you 30 grand. And you don't go and buy a new Lexus and put a down payment on. You go another 30 grand and you parlay that into your marketing. You become unstoppable. Who could compete with that? A lot of people out there, Ed, talk about 10% of your earnings going into marketing. Well, Jodie Curran went 100% for a couple of years. 100. If she had a spare dime, boom. Yeah. Right? And look at her, number one by a freaking country mile up in her area after 2 years.
Well, I read one of the successful people, I don't remember who, but I read it this morning and it said, the reason I'm successful is because you want to lose small and I want to win big.
Yep.
Which is pretty much what you said, right? Some people don't want to do a lot. They want to lose small. Other people go all in. They want to win big. How are you going to compete with them?
Yeah.
All in, winning big.
And you know what? It may even be. Now, I've often, because I read a lot as well, Ed, the same as you do. And sometimes I wonder when people say you've got to have the big goals and the big grandiose dreams and all of that sort of thing. I tell you, I set one goal years ago to have Arnold Schwarzenegger headline at one of my events. And that led, but I didn't have as a goal to have Richard Branson speak at one of my events. I didn't have Gary Vee.
After your first couple at the Greek Club and stuff, you said, how cool would it be if I could ever get such and such over here?
Yep.
Or, I think you said different names, but they were still big names.
Yep.
Like, how cool would it be if I could ever do that? You're doing it.
Yep.
What, you're going to tell us the secret, Glenn?
Well, but it is, I put it out there even when I didn't know that it was possible, right? Like I said, how cool would it be? It was when Eric Thomas asked me to write it down. That was one, I think, key critical thing. Eric Thomas asked, and then Jed Xavier, they asked a similar question. And the question reworded was something like, what would your goals be if you couldn't fail? What would your goals be if you weren't afraid? And they each asked that question. I can't remember which one of the two asked which. But the answer for me was the same. It was have Arnold headline. And then once it was out there, I kind of needed to know what it would take. So instead of just saying, Ed, how good would it be? I had to figure out precisely whether it was humanly possible or not. You know what I mean? And when I found out precisely what it would take, it was scary because I couldn't afford what it would take monetarily. By all estimations, I couldn't do what it would take once I found out specifically what it would take. But I wasn't far off. I was in the ballpark. If everything lined up and went to plan, and I called in every favor from every human being that I've ever in any way impacted, either positively or negatively, if I begged, then maybe, just maybe, it could work, And that was a scary place to be in. I would have rather, and I'm going to let you in on this and all the, dozens of people listening in, I would have rathered on some level, of course, not with the benefit of hindsight now that it's all worked out, but there is some part of me that wanted it to be completely unattainable because that would have given me an excuse not to hit the goal. If you came to me years later and said, "Hey, Twiddle, how's that Schwarzenegger goal going?" I'd say, "Well, it's $2 million, Ed. You know how it is. You understand." Well, you would understand if it was that. You'd let me off the hook on my goal. You know what I mean? But the fact that, these events are 500,000, not quite 1 million, but, still north of 500, my excuse is gone. You know what I mean? Because shit, I don't have 500,000 lying around, but I've got enough to pay the first couple of bills. And then I've got to find a way to pay the next couple of bills and the next couple. So it's scary as crap when you're in that position. But anyway.
Well, you did it. Small steps at a time, and you got there. It wasn't. You didn't go from the Greek club to an Arnold Schwarzenegger event, did you? You worked your way up.
Levels.
How do I find the next one? Level. Which is one of my things here. It does say, understand that every next level.
I can't read that.
See it. But it says, understand that every next level demands a different version of you.
Oh, I love that.
Every next level demands a different version of you. So that's the ceilings that you have to grow into the next person to get to the next level.
That's so good. See, I love it that you can put words to principles that I've lived that I've never had words to articulate it, but the dude I am now could not have tolerated I'll give you an example. It wasn't so long back. I thought I was on the comeback trail of having gone all in, every penny of mine. I was on the comeback trail of recashing up. After you go all in, put all your money in, you make a commission, you go all in. Eventually you need to make another commission to keep living, all of that stuff, right? So I was on the comeback trail and I had like 50 grand in the general account, right? 50 grand. Now that's what some people earn in a year. And I had that. And that week's freaking bills came in, $49,800. Like every penny I had to my name, I had to pay in a weekly set of bills. What other people pay in a year, that was my weekly bills. And that version of me that has now, I'm still not happy about it, right? Don't mistake this. But the version of me that I was when I was only earning 200 or 300 grand a year, and I was a coach at that stage, right? I'm earning 200 or 300 grand a year. It's still good, right? But that version of me that was earning 200 grand a year could not have tolerated 50 grand in weekly bills. Couldn't have tolerated it. So it's interesting what you say there, man, because I've definitely kept elements of myself, I suppose, that I like, but I've had to become a different version of me at every level. That version of me that used to do piddly, pissant little things for 100 people at the Greek club with, the version of, I had to become a new version to ask John McGrath and Matt Steinway to come and hang out with us. I had to be a slightly better version of me in order to go from level 1 to level 3. And then once I'd done that, I had to be a slightly better version of myself to invite Eric Thomas over to this country, ET, and I certainly had to be a different version of myself when I made that decision to, explore what it would take to play in the Arnold Branson kind of field, And then once that one, the Arnold Schwarzenegger field, but then once that Arnold Schwarzenegger one happened, I don't know if it was you, but it was someone close to me like you, Ed. I don't know if it was you or one of my other close clients, but someone said to me, "Righto, smartass, now that you've pulled off arguably the best event that's ever been in real estate, because Josh Altman came out from $1 Million Listing and it was great, Marcus, and it was considered the finest event that anyone had ever put on in real estate." And someone, it might have even been you, said, "What you do now, smartass? You've done the best ever. Now what? Right? What's next?" And so I went back to my list and I started contacting those people that were on the list. And
I remember you doing that. You're right. You had a list going. Or you probably still have got a list.
Still got the list, man. I've added names to it too. But Branson came back. He was third on the list that came back. Jordan came back and Michael Jordan came back and said resoundingly no.
No, I remember that.
Oprah
like
never even got
$2 or something.
No, they didn't even give me the token throwaway. Give me 20 million. They just said no. Oprah didn't even respond. Because Oprah was on the list and. But Richard Branson, and here's the thing, one of Richard's rules, I love that you got the rules there to emulate up there, Ed, because one of Richard's rules is when someone presents you with an opportunity and you don't know whether you can do it or not, say yes, there's your yes man rule, say yes, and then figure it out later. Well, Richard's people came back to me and said, well, we can't, I was wanting someone for the year after, right? We'd just done Arnold. I wanted someone 12 months from now. Richard's people came back and said, we're not planning on being in Australia at that time, but, and I quote, it would be great if you could do something 3 months from now. And I'm like, oh my God. It's wrong in every way to do another event 3 months after a major event, 2 months after then Arik. So there was my event, then Arik, then like 2 months later, Richard Branson wants to play. And I'm sitting there in my own brain going, this is probably the biggest mistake you're ever going to make. But Richard Branson's rules was going on in my head. If so, say yes and then figure out how to make it work. And all that was going on in my head, man, was Richard Branson was to play with frickin' me. I don't even care if I go bankrupt. I don't care. What a way to go. Me and Richard Branson as headline speakers, and then I'll go on the dole. But we managed to pull that out of the bag as well. So, you know, it's been a wild ride, bro. But I love that rule. You got to be a different version of you.
You love that rule?
Love it.
Yeah. So understand that every next level demands a different version of you. Okay. Which another rule I had here was I don't get lucky. I create my own luck. If you want to, make your dreams come true, because a lot of people wait like, oh yeah, you're just, Glenn, you're just lucky. You're just lucky. That's not going to happen to me. You're just in the right spot, right place. Yeah, in business, you're just lucky. Your market's better than mine. You got a higher price point. You got quicker turnover. Yeah. You're in a better position. You're in the capital city. All those excuses, right?
Yeah. Well, the people in the capital city, they envy the people in the suburbs, and the people in the suburbs are envy of the people. I remember I saw John McGrath down in Sydney, and John did this beautiful version of this talk. So I'm going to steal it from John because it's so good. He was doing a talk over in New Zealand, and New Zealand people are sitting there saying, oh, John, yeah, all that stuff sounds great, mate, but it won't work here. That's only for you Aussies, And then he did a talk in Queensland and one in Melbourne. And they set up in Queensland and in Melbourne. Yeah, John, that stuff, I get it, all sounds good, all those auctions and all that VPA and all that. But that doesn't work here in Queensland or in Melbourne. That's only reserved for Sydney. But then he'll go do a talk on the, in the western suburbs of Sydney. And I'll say, yeah, that's all good for you eastern suburbs guys, but that doesn't work here in the west. So John then very jokingly says, because he's got a great sense of humor, John, he goes, I must be a genius. I picked the 3 square kilometers where this magic stuff works. I am a location choosing genius. You know what I mean?
That, yeah.
Great talk.
The only 2 3 square kilometers in the entire world where this rule only applies.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So there's the thing. John ain't lucky. He didn't choose a good area. It's like saying, Michael Jordan, you're lucky that you were born with such talent that you got to be the greatest basketball player that ever lived. Or Muhammad Ali saying, you're lucky, Muhammad, that you were born so lucky to be born with that talent. I mean, that is the biggest insult to Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali's grind that it took in the history of insults to say that they were lucky. Sure, they may have had some predisposition towards talent, but Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. How's that for talent? Ali, look at what he went through. They grinded their way probably above more talented individuals, because those more talented individuals assume that it's going to come easy to them. So they don't do the Michael Jordan's first to come, last to leave principle. He needed to practice least out of every team he ever played in. And he was always first to get there and last to leave. Apply that one in your marketplace. Be the first to turn on the lights in the morning. Someone said, I can't remember who it was, but someone on Facebook said, if you don't know the alarm code at your office, your shit is broken. How's that? Hey? Is that not true? I don't care what you do. If you're a salesperson and you don't know the alarm code in your office, your shit is broken, because you've never been the last one to leave the office in your entire career. You should have a freaking label made saying Chief Alarm Setter or Offerer. You know what I mean? First to come, last to leave. So
you've got to be hungry, Glenn. You've got to be hungry.
You've got to be, look, no alarm clock needed. My passion.
No alarm clock needed. What else can we share for people to make their dreams come true? I've got stuff here, but what else have you got?
Well, just get back to that luck one. Guys, there is no luck. Make your own, right? Work your way. So I'm not lucky that I got invited to Gold's Gym. I put myself in the position that Arnold said, meet you at Gold's. That wasn't luck. I asked in the right way, so I developed certain people skills so that people don't think I'm a dickhead, right? So that when I do communicate with people, they remember me. And Arnold, I was told by one of his assistants, Arnold meets as many people in a year as you and I meet in a lifetime. So to stand out so that if he even remembers you 1 week later after meeting you, you're a freaking genius. You know, the fact that he and I still have what would be considered a friendship, that he's teasing me and having fun and all of that sort of stuff, is commensurate with the people skills I learned from Michael Spillane. Michael Spillane was the guy that handed me How to Win Friends and Influence People, Personality Plus, and all of those books on becoming a more memorable personality in some way, you know? And then, but not just being nice and reading How to Win Friends and Influence People isn't going to get you there. You've also got to be financially successful to put yourself in those positions for you to be taken seriously. So yeah, you've got to be able to cut a check, to write a big multiple six-figure check for a venue where most people who would want to put on a conference won't pay multiple six figures for a freaking, you know, for a hall. Because that's effectively what you're hiring at these bloody things. You're paying $100,000, $200,000 for a damn hall. You know, give me a scout hall for God's sake. But you know what I mean? So there's those two sides. But you make your own damn luck. Because at the start, I had no assets. I had no marketing skills, no people. Michael was teaching me some people skills. I had zero sales skills. And I had no database and I had no brand. We just ground our way to the #1 real estate agency in the Brisbane 4000 postcode with no skill. All we had was phone call script and 400 calls a week. And we were #1, you know? So there is no excuse. You don't have to think, oh, but Glenn, you're good at this marketing shit. Well, I learned that. So go learn it. You know, don't think that it's luck. I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in my head to learn from people who knew what I didn't know. I actually, heaven forbid, implemented what they taught me. And I was willing to go all in on what they taught me monetarily. And I'm still doing it to this day. But
well, there's a couple of things you just said. Because another successful thing that people do, the successful people, they implement like a maniac, don't they?
Yep.
They implement like a maniac and they go all in, but they say they're going to do something, they do it. They don't sit back and wait, they do it.
I wonder if you can hear this. Let me just bring this up. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, so I'm going to try something. We're on the fly. We're live. Let's see. I might go to Arnold's camera. Now, let's see. We're good. Can you hear that, Ed?
Folks, I'm not going to do much of an intro because, frankly, this guy doesn't need it. Another in our series of total, not another in our series of total success interviews. This is the total success interview.
So let me go to the bit where he talks about
maybe $35,000, $37,000. You get up in the morning, or if it is just
now in after school programs, still
where we raise millions bank, and you really have to get creative and have a clear vision of much more money than gain there was. This apartment building, that's great, but and we all hate
a little bit further about something. Can you tell us a little bit about how you did that in real estate, how you did that in mail order? I mean,
we're talking about the principle here of turning a dollar into $2.
With your mail order business.
Okay. Well,
dollar into $2 concept.
Well, we all pay taxes. And we all hate the idea that we're losing that money. But there's a difference between hating that you lose that money and hating to pay taxes. I love paying taxes. If it is the fair amount and if it is used wisely, I think we all have to contribute that because that's how you set up social programs, that's how you build infrastructure, that's how you have a military and all those kind of things. So that's great. But I always had the belief that the money that I pay in taxes, I want to make up through wise investments. So this is why I got into real estate right away in the 70s.
No, I've lost it. Anyway, in there he talks about implementation. He talks about it's all good to have the best ideas, and I'll get that full interview up in the next couple of days where we get it edited together. But he talks about having the great ideas, but without implementation, you've got nothing. You know, so coming along to events like you and I go to all the time, if you don't implement what you're taught, then don't go. Let's just go into the bar and drink. And yet it seems that you and I are the exceptions to the rule, Ed, because we implement what we learn. And it seems that we are the exceptions to the rule, that most people go, they get fired up and they get pumped up. And then when they get back to the world gets in the way, and they don't do what they were taught to do. And that's one thing that I certainly disciplined myself to do, is and maybe it was just because, maybe I was lucky, Ed, because I never had any business experience. So I had no filter to put it through. I just did it because I used to drink bourbon and beer and stuff for my living. So if someone said to me, wear a tie and shave your beard, I couldn't say, well, I don't want to do that. I said, if that's what they say to do in business, that's what I'll do. So I had no filter of me wanting to do it my way because I had no idea. So I think as far as implementation is concerned, maybe that's where I did get lucky, is I had no idea. I had no idea that when some people gave me some ideas that were sort of outside of the box, because I'd never been inside the box, I didn't know they were outside of the box. So I just did what I was told, you know? So maybe that was an asset that I had as far as implementation is concerned.
And we say that all the time, didn't we? Like the implementation system I've got about writing, you go to these conferences and you get a book and you write at the back of the book your 101 to-do lists. And then you set 3 hours aside on a Friday or once a week where you just get out of the office and you just put 3 of those things into action. So by the end of the year, you've done 150 things. Like, yes or yes, is that going to help you out?
Damn straight.
It's got to be a yes, because you're implementing every single week. But you're right, people go to these things, get fired up, life gets in the way, they grab that book, put it to the side, and then they're doing the same shit again. So that's one of the keys, right? Keys to making dreams come true. Write things down and implement. Write things down and implement.
I love the one. I don't know if it's an extension of the principle I learned from you, Ed, because I know you came along to one of my events, you gave that technique up. But one thing I do is when I'm taking notes at a seminar, if it's just notes or good ideas or whatever, I'll write it in the front of the book. And if it's an action that needs to be done, I'll write it in the back of the book. So I go to the front for philosophy and I go to the back for to-dos. And that's the way it works for me. I don't know if that's exactly what you taught me, but that's what I do.
Yeah, same thing. And the backlink is the thing that you take once a week somewhere and you cross off 3, you implement those, and you go back there and do another 3. So I think I've got my book running since 1997. It just keeps going with more stuff too.
20 years, man. That's nice.
20 years. That's a long time. And that's what Dick Smith said. It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. Yeah, all these other people want to become a success now. They don't realize you got to put the grind in. You got to learn. Like, it's just a natural progression, isn't it? You got to adapt. You can't go from here to here without going to different levels. Different levels demands different versions of you. You can't become the A game when you haven't even started to learn yet. Yeah.
Well, man, I tell you, when you talk about learning, to me, you know, when you talk about overnight success, there's so few people. I would hazard a guess and say no one. Maybe John McGrath reckons he and I'd go toe to toe, but I reckon I even own him. I add it up every year, and it's about 7,000 hours now of me listening to other experts. I do it every day for at least an hour, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. No one's outlearnt me. No one's out-listened to, but you really, truly think about 7,000 hours. When people go to a seminar like Total Success Summit next week, that might be literally, if they go to just 2 of those days, that might be 14 hours of actual content. You know what I mean? Of actual learning. Now, if you include the intros and the all that stuff, it might be 8 hours. It might be, you know, maybe 5 hours a day. So 10 hours in total of actual, here's what to do, blah, blah, blah. Because we've got to get people in the right state. We've got to make sure they're having a good time. We've got to give them some entertaining stories. Because you can't just do a seminar of here's what to do, here's what to do, here's what to do. That's different, you know. So I tell you, if that's 15, 20 hours or whatever in 1-2 day seminar, it's hard to imagine what a 10, 15-year period is that adds up to 7,000 hours of listening to people smarter than me. But that's my one secret to success that I could say. You want to make your dreams come true? The one thing that's led me to everything is I have listened to 7,000 hours of people who have done what I want to do in whatever their field might be. Right now, I'm on a bit of a health and fitness kind of, you know what? I'm not on a health and fitness kick. I'm on a lose weight kick. And there's a difference. You know what I mean? I'm on a lose weight kick. So I've got in my corner the right experts to help me get there. Arnold freaking Schwarzenegger, for one, is my accountability buddy. Not too bad. You know what I mean? By June, he wants to see me jacked. When I go back to his house, he wants to see me jacked, right? So Frank Zane, I went down to Frank Zane's house in San Diego a week ago. Michelle Bridges, I just got off the phone with her half an hour ago. So are the Hulk Palele. I was at Soa's gym last night, and he was smashing me. If you go to Soa's Instagram, you see him just destroying me, man. I got in the ring with a UFC fighter, put on the gloves, and we were going at it with a UFC freaking legend. Now, I used to wrestle. This guy owned me, right? Owned me. It was embarrassing, but man. So it's about finding the right experts who have done or can instruct you in doing what you want to do. And for me, that took me 7,000 hours. Maybe that 7,000 hours, Ed, proves that I'm the dumbest bloke in most rooms, because most people could probably get the result with 700 hours. But how do I win over that person who's smarter than me? He does 700 hours, I do 7,000 hours, and I implement, I win, and I'm dumber than him.
Yeah. And I think we said this the other day, didn't we? Something about, it was real estate related. If you did like 10 times more skill doesn't mean 10 times more income or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that what we said?
Yeah,
like 10 times more activity
I was adding it up
more
once.
10 times more skill.
Yeah, well, someone hit me up about, but how am I ever going to be as good as Matt Steinway? And he used Matt as an example. And you and I are both mates with Matt. We love the guy, and correctly so, because he's just the sweetest dude in the world. He's the smartest ever. He's freaking the hardest worker. Actually, he used to be a harder worker than he is now. Now that he's done the hard work, he's afforded himself a nice lifestyle brand, which is magnificent. Still does millions, still hustles when he needs to, but does what he, so just in every way,
he's working the balance,
skilled as shit, right? He's awesome, right? And so let's just say Matt's 9 out of 10 of skill, that every 10 people he sits in front of, he lists 9 of them. How does this rookie who says to himself, I am nowhere near Matt's level of skill, so say he's 2 out of 10. And I say, well, you can beat Matt, hands down. Of course you can. Matt sees 10, lists 9. Well, all that means is you need to see 50, and at 2 out of 10, you list 10. You win.
Yeah.
You beat Matt Steinway just by doing 5 times as much. Beautiful.
So skill beats, there you go. Activity beats skill.
Absolutely. But here's the other beautiful thing, is that say that kid does 5 times the activity of Matt Steinway. In doing of that, he'll go from 2 out of 10 to 4 out of 10 pretty damn quick. He'll then get some training, go from 4 out of 10 to 6 out of 10. And if he can maintain the work ethic, he's got then a choice. He could either maintain the work ethic and start outperforming everyone in this game, or he can then make some choice to ease off on the work ethic, get himself some work-life balance, enjoy life, and still make hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you got the choice. Without that initial insanity, you don't end up with the choice to do what you want with your work-life balance, so to speak. You know what I mean? Everyone I know who's got work-life balance now, that includes Matt, that includes Chris Gilmore to a point, that includes you, everyone I know that's got some work-life balance now, for a period of years, had a life that was so unbalanced in favor of their effort that any outsider would have looked at you guys and thought, they're nuts. Michael Spillane had people worryingly calling me saying, you got to tell Michael to calm down. He's going to burn out. Well, I've known Michael 20 plus years. He's been like this for 20 plus years. He's not going to burn out, but here's the interesting thing. He had a beautiful baby daughter a couple of years ago. He's now chilling, spending a bit more time with her. An 18-year maniac effort has resulted in $1 million plus business. Now he's balanced like a, as Eddie Murphy said in Johnny, when he's talking about Johnny Carson, ends be meeting like a mofo, right? When you got 300 million, you have to get a job at the boutique to make ends meet. Ends be meeting like a mofo, right? Well, that's Michael.
I remember that.
Yep, that's Michael.
You're right, though. You're right. Everyone that is successful, because everyone thinks, you're lucky. But like you said, they don't see the hustle and everything they did at the start where there was no balance. It was all work. And like I was telling people, if someone said, I'm thinking about going into my own business, a financial planner. And I said, mate, if you're up for it, it's great. But you got to understand, you no longer have a 9 to 5. You have it from when you open up your eyes until you go to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. From when you wake up to when you go to sleep, that is your new hours. Because if you want to make this thing come true, man, you got to do that before you get your work-life balance.
That's it. Now, I want to just check in and see if there is any questions on, I don't know which thread to look on, because there's only, there's certain people on each thread.
I'm not even looking.
Yeah, okay. So Jacqueline says the power of an idea is in its implementation. Justin says it is Yes Man and Jim Carrey, so that's going back a bit. So very cool. Oh, that's on your live one. let's have a look in the community, see what's going in there. We still live? There we are. Oh, that's Jacqueline. Yep, cool. Let's have a look on my feed. If I've got it going. And Twiddle.
You're on your phone doing this, are you?
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Yeah, I'm just checking on the phone. So welcome, guys.
I like that.
Got you here, GT. Sup? Yes, man. Lyndon says, so yeah. Great. Rodney says, great to see you on fire. So thanks, guys. Yeah, but no questions. That's good. If you got any questions, guys, maybe put them on the real, on one of them. No, pick a thread. No, you know what? If you've got any questions, put it on the one. I don't know which one. Pick one, and if I find it, I'll find it. I'll find it.
Just tag. I suppose just tag us.
Yeah, but I won't get to it now. I'll just keep rocking with Ed. We'll go through Ed's rules, and then I'll type in my question answers if you've got any in the comment section. So, cool, man. What's another one of the rules? What's another one of the rules? You got one there? We're doing good here.
Your blessings. I don't know if I even talked to you about this one. Blocking your blessings. Something I learned a few weeks ago.
Sounds a bit spiritual, Ed.
Man,
I've got my microphone down here. Sounds a bit spiritual, Ed.
Are you ready? No, blocking your blessings. I've seen people do this because I suppose like Vivian Yap, right? Let's go back to that story where people want to help you out and people want to give you things, or people say like, come under my shoulder and I'll teach you. And you're either too stubborn or you think you're too busy to say yes. And you're blocking people coming in and trying to give you a hand. And then you whinge about the fact that, oh man, this is hard. Like this is hard. I can't get anywhere. You're blocking your blessings. So that's one thing about saying yes. Stop saying no to things and blocking the good stuff coming into your life, and just say yes to things and just like let it go.
Yeah,
that's one thing. That's blocking the blessings. Stop saying no to people and making it easy for them to say, screw it, I'm not going to help Glenn. Why should I bother helping him? Doesn't want to.
That's true. You do.
Anyway.
Absolutely. If you don't receive, like, I'll do anything for Vivian Yap. Now, I did something for her, right? But by her saying yes, that made me feel good that I got to literally do something for a multi-squillionaire real estate professional who I could not give her a gift that would in any way impact her in any way, shape or form monetarily. I could not do it. But that thing that I gave her, she will remember for the rest of her life. And in doing so, she'll remember me. Well, damn straight. Yeah. But what I'm sort of saying there is that now that she's allowed me to know that and it makes me feel good, will I be on the lookout to do things for Vivian wherever possible? Absolutely. There's a concept known as an ask hole, an ASK hole. And I did a rant on this on my YouTube channel in the GT show season 2 or whatever, right? And the heading was don't be an ask hole. And essentially what an ask hole is someone who asks your opinion. Normally they ask you your opinion and they haven't paid you for it, right? And they're not really asking, what do you think? All they really want is, Glenn, I'm going to do this and I want you to agree with me. Because if they ask you a question and you give them an answer other than what they already think, they don't follow your advice, they kind of resent you for it, and nothing changes in their world. So why bother asking? And if you do answer them the way that they already think and what they were already going to do, well, why bother answering? I just wasted my 10 minutes of my time. So when you talk about blocking your blessings, when someone offers you advice and it is contrary to what you already were believing or thinking or whatever, you need to ask yourself a question. Is the way I currently think, feel, believe, et cetera, is that serving me and getting me to where I want to go? And if the answer is yes, I'm on the way, I'm loving life, I'm happy, and really that's what this all comes down to. Are you happy? And some mentor, like a Glenn Twiddle, like a Matt Stolman, any mentor, like a Michael Spillane, Edgar, whatever, some mentor tells you to do it differently. Well, you've got to figure out, are they happy? You know what I mean? Is their way going to go? Now, but here's the other thing. If you're sitting there struggling on 60 grand a year, and this isn't insulting, this is 90% of the real estate industry I'm talking about right now, on 60, 70 grand a year or less, and you're asking someone who's doing better than you, say 3 or 4 or 5 times your income, and we're only talking about income there, but if their happiness is 4 or 5 times your happiness levels or whatever it is, if they've got muscles and you look like me, believe me, Naomi's behind me there, right? You can see that back. Turn around. I want to see the back. See, look at that physique, right, that's looking back at us. If she gives me advice, she asked me for advice on because I used to work out and I've, wrestled and I used to have a physique like that. So she asked me for advice and I'm very hesitant to give her advice anymore, even though I think I know some things. Because I think I know some things and look at me. Holy shit. Look at her. Oh my God. So I would not even presume to give anyone physical advice, even though I've learned a few things historically because I'm not the avatar. I'm not the example of what they're wanting to do. So guys, don't ask me for what I'm doing to lose weight until I'm ripped, right? And then I'll tell you what I did to get there. Don't tell me now, because what I'm doing now might be, look at this, I'm drinking this shit, right? Now, if I get to be jacked by June when I go to Arnold's and I've still drunk the odd beer, then you can ask me what I did, because this obviously didn't hurt that much. But don't ask me now. So what I'm sort of saying there is, be careful whose advice you listen to and be careful whose advice you ignore. I saw up there before, you had Warren Buffett written on that list. If Warren Buffett gives you freaking investment advice, I don't care who you are and what you own, you follow his advice. You know what I mean? That's it. It's that simple. I don't care if he tells you that you got to go walk down the street, dance naked, and that's the secret to wealth. What if it is? You don't know, because he's Warren Buffett and you're not. So
second richest person in the world. Why would you ignore his info?
Don't be an asshole. Because here's the thing. This is another good thing. What if Warren Buffett told you to do that just to see if you do it before he gives you the real advice?
Because I know you used to do that. You used to make people jump through holes to see if they actually would persist before you say, yeah, okay, I'll help you out.
Absolutely. Especially for the freebies. If people want to come to me for free advice, I'd make them do stupid shit like get up and do a consult with me at 3:30 in the morning. So many of them would not do it, and it'd force me to get up at 3:30 in the morning, go for a walk, or 4:30 or whatever the case may be, 5 a.m. club, whatever. I'd go for a walk on the beach, knowing I've got a potential consult call, knowing that it's a 10-to-1 shot that they're going to actually keep the call. But for those ones who do, man, I'll give them everything. I'll treat that like a
you're testing out, see how hungry they are.
Yep. I'll give them
actually serious about what they're talking about.
I'll give them the same advice I'd give a person in business hours for $2,000 an hour. I'll give for free at 5 a.m. because I know they want it.
Les Brown said, I don't know if anyone knows Les Brown.
Les Brown. You got to be hungry.
Hungry. Never judge a tree by the fruit it bears. No, sorry. Never judge a tree by the fruit it talks about. Judge a tree by the fruit it bears. You want to see what someone really wants to do? Don't listen to their words. Look at their actions.
Look at their actions.
And that's what you're doing, right?
Yep.
Look at their actions. That tells you what they really, really want.
Yep. Well, it's
everyone
like the
can
ET
talk,
shirt.
Does anyone actually do it?
There's an ET shirt that I always wear that says on the front, even Theo, Naomi's little boy, he's 11 years old. He's 11 years old. He wears this shirt that says, everyone wants to be a beast till it's time to do what beasts do.
Yeah.
So true. Everyone wants to be the next $1 million agent. So it's time to get up at 4:30 in the morning. Then they'll find a reason why, work-life balance, you can't do that. You need to have your sleep. They'll find all the reasons. So everyone, I heard a quote years ago. One of my mentors said, everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to read the Bible cover to cover. And I thought, it's true. It's true.
Well, heaven will be a total success summit on the 21st and 22nd of March.
There's the plug. I love it, Ed.
there's all the plugs. Next thing, taking responsibility. But before I get that, there was something I also read that said, which is like this headline. You say, how to make your dreams come true. Replace the word dreams with goals.
Yeah, I would even, let me throw this one out there, because goals, of course, we all use different words for it, whether it's dreams, whether it's goals, whether it's targets, whether it's whatever. But I want to throw this one out there to you. And this is one that I really, really like. In fact, I just got a new phone and I need this case I can't do it with. But on my last one, I wrote the word promise and I wrote how heavy I was, 127. And every time I dropped a kilo, I'd cross out 127 on my phone and I'd write 126, 125. And down the bottom, I had promise 99. Right?
Yeah.
Promise. It wasn't a goal. It wasn't a target. It wasn't a dream. It was a promise. It's the extension of what you're saying, that a dream is something you never get. A goal is something you're aiming for. A promise is what you do, right? Or you die trying, right? So that's what I did on my last phone. I will be doing that again. And here's the thing, because goal is even laced with a little bit of, if I don't hit it, it's okay. Whereas, Ed, if I make a promise to you, I'll die before I break it. And I might break it, right? I might, Ed, I promise I'll be over. And if my mum's sick, I will break a promise to you if I just promise you to come over and us hang out. I'm going to break that promise and go see my sick mum, right? But it's going to take a sick mum for me to break a promise, you know? So again, the same thing that you're saying, change the thing from dream to goal, change your thing from goal to promise.
Imagine if you said that to me a couple of years ago. Ed, I promise I'll get Arnold Schwarzenegger down here. And then I'll go, Glenn, you promised me. Come on, where is it?
Well, you know what? One thing I would,
Jordan down.
Yeah, I would add this to the promise one though. Let me add this one to the promise thing. It's like when you set a goal where there's a punishment that's unacceptable as an accountability thing. Like, Ed, I'm going to give you $5,000 to give to my most hated enemy, the one who's on Facebook, you know, always bagging me out and all of that, right? I'm going to give you $5,000. And if I don't hit my goal, you send that check anonymously to that person and they've got $5,000 gift on me, right? Now, when you're doing stuff like that, or when you're making, as you say, a promise, here's my recommendation for you with those sorts of goals, targets, things you want to achieve, whatever the case may be. Make sure that they're pushing yourself but still achievable, right? And make sure that they are 100% directly within your control. See, the guy who's at the top of my goal list to have work with me is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Now Michael Jordan's up there, right? It was Oprah, Michael Jordan, Richard Branson. The Rock is now trumped. He's now number one, right? It's not directly in my control whether I can have The Rock. Because if The Rock, like Michael Jordan, just says, I don't do that shit, that's not in my control. So I don't want to have a promise I make be that. You know what I mean? I could promise to get 50 listings this year because that's directly in my control. And so you know what I'm saying? When you're going to go out on a limb and do some things like making a promise or setting a goal where there are serious ramifications to miss that goal, then I would suggest make sure it's realistic, but still pushing yourself. So something you've never done, but something that is humanly possible. And have those big, grand dream goals out there, but maybe don't call them promises. Because what if you don't get them? I don't want you to have in that in psychology that you broke a promise to yourself or to another person. Now, I'm just giving you maybe what works for me. I don't know what might work for everyone out there, but there's just some food for thought to keep in mind.
I like it. I like it, Glenn. We're getting somewhere. I think we're nearly done with my thing, honestly, because I've got the one thing, and the one thing probably is a big whole topic, but the one thing you reckon to make people's dreams come true. So if someone had to like work on, because the theory of the one thing, have you read that book?
No.
The One Thing, the book? Okay, so the theory of the one thing is like if you want to lose body weight, so you can go for a walk, you can watch your calories, cut out beer, whatever else, right? But what's the one thing that's going to give you the biggest result? That's why you're going to say, right, hit the gym. If I do that and I don't do anything else, that one thing's going to give me the biggest result. Listings, I don't know. What's the one thing that's going to give me the biggest listings? If I hit the phones and do 400 phone calls and ignore everything else, that one thing will probably get me close to the result. So what's the one thing to help people make their dreams come true?
I hate Ray Wood.
That's a deep question.
I hate Ray Wood for this because Ray Wood, now I say hate, I love Ray Wood, right? But I hate him because he came up with the answer in 4 frickin' words. That's why I hate him.
Really?
I Googled those 4 words because I wished I'd wrote them and I hoped someone else said them, because if someone else said them and Ray stole them, then I could steal them as well. Bugger me. Ray came up with them. Ray Wood gets every bit of credit for this. And these are the 4 words.
I don't know what they are.
And we can unpack these 4 words and we can kind of see what action steps they would lead to, because that's the key. These 4 words have to lead to action. And it's this.
All right.
Dream big, take names, right? So what that means is set big, grandiose goals that are dreaming big, right? So that's the dream big. Set the targets, set the goals, map out what you want to achieve. Now take names is a metaphor in real estate that he who has the biggest database wins. Period. He who sees the most people, he who asks the most people the question, he who has the biggest database, which is the same thing. When you've got a big database, you're asking that database a question, would you like to do business with me? Time and time and time and time again, in my case, daily, with emails. I've got 40,000 real estate agents. Every day, I'm asking 40,000 people, would you like to do business with me? 39,000. 960 of them every single day say thanks, but no thanks, Glenn, not today. But 40 of them say yes. Now, if I only had a database, if I was a bit wussy and I was worried about what the 39,000 who were saying no were saying to me, I wouldn't ask the question, So those are the 4 words: dream big, take names. So set big goals and then do business with them. Like set big goals, then build yourself whatever world you're in. Because I know we've got more than real estate agents on this kind of call here. Whatever your business is, whatever KPI is that one thing in that KPI in that business. In real estate, it might be connections, human beings, appraisals, or listings. It's something along that line. In Ray's case, he said take names. That means get the biggest database you've got possible. In my case, it's definitely take names. If I can get as a speaker in front of more human beings at my seminars, on the Facebooks and all of that stuff, that's the one thing for me. And like I said, I've got to give credit to my man, Ray Wood, Aaron Shiner's business partner. He's now living a lifestyle over in Canada. He gets back to Australia every now and then and does some stuff. Ray, those are the most powerful words I've ever heard in my life. And I wish you'd write a book on that, because that should be your book title. And I'm going to throw it out to Ray. If anyone's there listening and Ray, tell him and say, Glenn Twiddle said, Ray, if you don't write a book called Dream Big, Take Names, he's gonna.
Oh, wow. I like that. Dream big, take names. That's good.
Yeah, but then you do that, Ed. I mean, that's the thing. I've just identified with 4 words the way most successful achievers already live anyway.
And you're right. They dream big, take names.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Love it. Wow.
Cool, man. How long have we been going for? How long have we been going for?
I can't even see. It doesn't say here. My thing doesn't have a timer because you're controlling it. Another few things that I did learn, which you can chip in if you're on the way up, is, I think I got this from Tom. Everybody wants you to do well until you're better than them.
Yeah, that's true.
So understand that. And the way you dream, everybody wants you to do well, but wants not better than them. And then when you get there, you're going to fail how many times? What do you reckon, Glenn? You're going to fail more times than anyone else has ever tried. So you just got to get back up, try again. Get back up, try again.
Yeah, I like the principle. Right? I like the principle of the swift sword. That when you do have a miss, that you swiftly cut off whatever it was with the sword and you move on. So fail fast and as fast as you possibly can. And get back on again. Yeah, fail fast. If you're going to fail fast. And so you can get on to the next win or the next attempt. Like these big events, man, many people by definition would consider them failures because they're unprofitable. But I get them out of the way. I do them as quickly as I possibly can, that I get back to the business that I'm profitable in. And what these big events become, and I hate giving this away because every seminar promoter, if they started doing this, now I've got a competitor. At the moment, I don't have a competitor because no one else is stupid enough to do the business that I do for as long as it takes to do a big one for free, So I'm assuming Ed's waving at one of his people behind the camera and not me.
Yeah, it was. No, it was. But they're walking past the, I don't think you see walking past this, giving me updates or showing me notes like this has happened and I'm going home.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So yeah, that's so I guess that's the thing. Fail fast is a good thing. And I agree with you about here's another thing. I don't know why. And maybe you can tell me why. I don't know. It's just because I try and do the right thing by people. I don't know. But that concept of people want you to succeed until you're doing better than them. That's probably true of other speakers, that when I was a student of theirs, they wanted me to succeed. Now that I'm in, it's hard to define who's doing better than whom. But now that I'm doing pretty well in my world. Everyone's definition
of success is different.
Yeah. But it's certainly true of your direct competitors, that your direct competitors will be okay with you wanting you to succeed until you're doing better than them. What I would say, though, is the people you help, right, your consumers, They like my consumers, my customers, my people like you, Ed, you guys who come to my seminars as students, you want me to do better. You want me to travel the world and learn more things so that I can bring that back to you. And because I'm a value to those guys, they don't have a problem with me being super successful, because the more successful I am, the more I teach them how to do it. So I don't know if that's the reason that I don't cop much of that stuff, that tall poppy thing. I don't cop a lot of it. Or it might be the fact that, that I do genuinely try to be kind of nice. I mean, I stuff it up sometimes by making screw ups and shit, but it may be that, I don't know. But I don't know why, but I don't get a lot of the chop down. Whereas I've seen some ads on Facebook of another company lately, and they obviously don't clean up their own comment section. They obviously leave the comments there unfiltered, because literally it's a ratio of 10-1 of people hating this seminar company for every one person that says something positive. It's really bad.
Wow.
So, so I don't know, but that's a tough one, Ed, but I agree with you, but I haven't personally experienced it as much. I've got my haters, but they're so disproportionately outnumbered, hundreds to one. And look, I'm just glad, because if it was any more, I don't think I could do this business.
Yeah,
literally.
You would.
If it was 10-1 of haters versus lovers, I couldn't do it. Could not do it. So, and maybe it is. I just don't hear from the 10 who hate me, and that's just fine by me. You guys stay where you are. Just come to me with the love, right?
Which is part of the, how to make your dreams come true. Thick skin, right?
There's a book that someone recommended to me on this subject. Write this one down, Ed. It's hard to read. It's done by an American lady who marries up Americanisms, Western world, with Eastern philosophy, and it's called Thick Face, Black Heart, right? Thick face, black heart. And what that means is, thick face means you can't be worried too much about saving face and all that. That's an Asian thing. Everyone's about to say. And black heart means if you're a surgeon and the arm needs to come off, in the days before anesthetic, the arm's got gangrene, and if the arm doesn't come off, the organism dies, right? The human being dies. Yeah. So the surgeon needed to have a black heart, cut off the arm, and ignore the screams of pain from the subject, knowing that his black heart and lack of empathy is doing the best thing by that human being. So that was a really deep book on the subject of really ignoring the naysayers, which is Arnold's rules, ignore the naysayers. E.T. talks about you got to ignore your haters. E.T. tells a story about, and this was off camera where I was talking about haters and how it sort of cuts me to the bone. And he was saying, Glenn, I try and do my best E.T. impersonation. Glenn, what does the moon do up there in the sky when the dog starts barking at it? Keeps on shining, baby, So they've all got their own way to say. You've got to ignore those detractors. But I will say to everyone out there, for some of us, not for all of us, but for some of us, it's easier said than done. It still kills me to my core when someone has a crack at me or what I do, or a crack at one of you guys. Like if one of you guys are doing something, heaven forbid, that's a little out of the box, and one of their own staff members teases them for it. It's got nothing to do with me, but it cuts me to the bone to this day. And I still haven't been able to kind of find a way to let it not affect me. And every one of my mentors says I have to, but man, it's hard. So I will say to everyone who finds it hard to ignore the naysayers or to ignore the haters, I'm with you. I find it hard as well.
Have you got Arnie's last 6 rules? Should we finish up on Arnie's rules? Since there's a Arnold Schwarzenegger Total Success Summit in Sydney on the 21st and 22nd
like
March.
4 or 5 days from now, Ed. I don't have a graphic,
Tuesday.
but
go to tickets.
But it's one Google away.
At www.totalsuccess.com.au.
Well, let's just there's totalsuccess.com.au. So you go to that website. There you go. That looks pretty good.
Are there any tickets left, Glenn? Can they squeeze in a couple?
Yeah, the VIP is pretty much sold out. So Ed, if you want to meet Schwarzenegger, then you better tell me now that you're coming.
I've met him.
Yeah, you met him last time. But if you want that VIP thing, that's that. But let me go to Arnold's rules. You see, that's what I love about Google. You don't even have to be able to spell. You just type something close and it comes up. So here's the rules.
Which is great, Zach.
Trust yourself. Break some rules.
So believe in yourself.
Yep. Yeah. Break some rules. Now, that means break industry norms. That doesn't mean break the law. Don't be afraid to fail. Give it a crack. Ignore the naysayers like we just talked. Work your ass off. We've definitely covered that today. And one thing that Arnold definitely lives by is he gave up about $100 million a year in income that he could have been earning when he accepted the role as governor. I love that photo of him where he's sitting there with that's one of my favorite photos of him. When
and he's just in the dark.
Yeah. So that's a good photo. Where is it?
But give something back, hey?
Give something back. Well, he gave back as the governor for 7 years of his life when he could have earned $100 million a year. So, him giving something back is means more than, most of us, we think of just donating something to a charity or something. He gave up probably north of, conservatively speaking, $200 million, $300 million. Plus, he said no to the governor's wage. Like they pay the governor $300 or $400 a year. He even said no to that. He said no to the wage, and he said no to the income that he could have been deriving. So literally, he donated more than, like $500 million probably, in giving something back. And he says to this day, it's the most rewarding job he's ever had.
Wow. Well, he's beating me because, I've got my Pay It Forward campaign for 2017.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I gave the details. So I haven't got $20 billion or whatever he gave away. But just I'm filling up people's petrol tanks, giving them shopping.
Oh, I saw you did that. Yeah, I saw that the other day on Facebook. Very nice.
Yeah. So that's my Pay It Forward because, as you probably knew years ago, we were all struggling. We were all hustling hard and we had to work so hard and, not making a lot of money ourselves, whatever it was when you first start off. So now that I'm in a better position, every week I'm giving away gift cards to something, petrol or shopping centres or whatever.
I do love that. I do that shit all the time. I'll be in a line and I'll say, and whatever the lady behind me or the bloke behind me is having, I'll sometimes say, put theirs on my credit card. And almost every time they really they say, that has made my day, but I cannot let you, and all of that. And sometimes they let you, that's all good. If they don't know, sometimes I'll just say, hey, chuck an extra 50 on that and buy everyone that's the next coffee. Actually, I did it. And here's what I did. I did it once. I've done this. I did this sort of thing, but I remember just recently, it was 2 weeks ago. I was doing a talk and they'd called in the coffee van to serve the sales team, about 20 or 30 people in the sales team. And they'd called the coffee van. So I had to pay on credit card for my one pissant little coffee because I didn't have cash. So I said, look, throw $100 on that. And you shout everyone who comes their coffee, right? And you say it's on Glenn, but you have to say to them that Glenn Twiddle's the greatest, and you have to try and get them to say it. And I just made a bit of a gag about it. And she came up and gave me $20 change because the bill only came to $80. But it literally made the day of the girl serving the coffee because no one had ever done something stupid like that. They knew that I didn't work there, that I was the guest. And it was just kind of just fun. So, in our own way, I like the rule, give something back. I probably don't do as much as I should. I know that I give to a charity and I give $25,000 or so to this charity, but it's not selfless giving because I get to go and hang out with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Don Cheadle, and I get to go and hang out with Hollywood celebrities. So to me, that's not giving back. Even though it does go to a charity, it does go to a good cause. It's not the same thing as when you give with no thought of getting anything back. That's different.
That's right. That's a different thing, isn't it? And that's a good thing. All right. I'm happy with that. I hope everyone else is happy. I can't see what's going on the streams, but I'll do a replay on my profile. I'm going to go now and have a look at all the different streams and see everyone telling us, shut the hell up, we can't see you, we can't hear you. And we've been rambling on for 2 hours to ourselves. Have we really? Jeez, has it been 2 hours?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how long it's been.
I was going, shit, because I've got all this work. I don't know if
it probably has been an hour and a half. It's probably been an hour and a half.
I've got to go through all these letters.
Wow.
So,
all right.
Like,
Zoom in on them. Zoom in on them. There's gold in them there letters. There's gold in them. All right. Thanks, Ed. Mate, I hope we see you on Monday. Problem, you got to come. You got to do it.
I'll be there.
You got to do it. Monday, you got to get to the chopper.
I'll be in Sydney Monday, but I can't go there because we've got Adriano.
Sneak out. Bring him.
Yeah, just come with me. Bring the macarons. Just bring him over. He's got, by the way, I think next month, if anyone does like macarons, he's releasing 60 new flavors. Wow. For 1 week out of 2 stores. So when he says that, I've prepped you so you know about it.
Nice.
All right.
The big oil. Thanks, guys. Keep an eye on it. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Ed, for the fun, man. It's always good to ramble. That was good quality content, man. That was good.
Yeah, it was good. It probably, I don't know if they're going to have to zoom past and, fast forward and replay and stuff, but they'll get it eventually.
Some good stuff. You need to go and buy me this is empty now. You need to buy me one of these. You like? Have it delivered. All right. Thanks, Ed. Good fun.
Yeah, you're in Perth.
Yeah.
Don't forget that line. Have you got that line?
Now, what was that one? You got to become a better version of you the higher up the goals you go.
Understand that every next level requires a different version of you.
Yeah, I love that. I'm
going
to make a banner. Make a banner of that for me, Ed. I'll put it up on my Facebook
2017.
wall. Make
All
a
right,
banner
I'll
of
do
that.
one for you.
Thank you, man. Love it.
Glenn version 2017.
Love it.
All right, bud.
Thanks, man. See you later, bud.
No problem. Thanks, everyone. Whoever's watching, I don't know what's going on.
Bye, everyone. I'm going to come now to Facebook and see what you guys have been rambling at me. Talk soon.
Probably just go, no comments. Yeah, to these two
boring. Yeah, boring. We'll see how many views we got on our various streams, Ed. All right, mate. See you guys later.
3 or 4. All right. See you.
See you guys.